comes home to find his wife raped and children screaming. The Hungarians knew Soze was tough, not to be trifled with, so they let him know they meant business. They tell him they want his territory, all his business. Soze looks over the faces of his family. Then he showed these men of will what will really was. Him he would rather see his family dead than live another day after this. He lets the last Hungarian go. He waits until his wife and kids are in the ground, and then he goes after the rest of the mob. He kills their kids, he kills their wives, he kills their parents and their parents' friends. He burns down the houses they live in and the stores they work in. He kills people that owe them money. And like that, he's gone.
So, The Usual Suspects, truly a masterclass in misdirection, because nearly everyone that came out of this film thought they knew who Keyser Soze was, which I'm going to get into in a minute, right? Keyser Soze has two superpowers in this movie, and that'll explain what the film is really about, and it'll also explain why Verbal Kint is not Keyser Soze. First power, no leverage. No one can wage leverage over him. Second power, anonymity, being nobody, being invisible to other people, right? They're the two superpowers that Keyser Soze has to wage war on the competition, his competition. As the film moves on, as it progresses, Keyser Soze is the main theme of this film, right? He's the main theme. He's the catalyst for this movie. It's how the movie gains and generates secret power from within that engine room, which is Keyser Soze. And he's cloaked in mystery. You don't know who this guy is. And everything that Verbal Kint says to Agent Kuyon in the office, in the police station, is not true, or parts of it are true, but a lot of it is not true because he's just making a lot of stuff up. We don't even know who Kobayashi is, just say this guy Kobayashi. Now we're going to get into him in a minute because the real identity of Keyser Soze is definitely, without a doubt, not Verbal Kint. That's what makes the film so memorable in people's, because just say at the end of the movie, it was wrapped up in a bow too nicely for everyone. Yeah, oh geez, it was him all along. No, there's no way. If his second power is anonymity, being invisible, why would he allow his picture to be taken? Someone to sketch his picture? You think about leverage in your everyday life. That's what I like breaking down movies even a tiny bit for, because to get people to identify with a certain character in a movie, you have to have it within yourself, whether you're aware of it or not. The weaknesses inside you, whether you're aware or not, right? So leverage. People have leverage over, people are always bucking for leverage over you. The whole system, the government is designed to do that with Facebook and all the rest of it, which is just an arm of the military-industrial complex to make sure that they have leverage over people if they need it. But forget about the government for a second, which are nothing but a bunch of swines and liars. Think about the people in close proximity to you, your family members, your girlfriend, all right, your wife, your family members, all these your friends, all these people. These people are always looking for leverage that they could maybe use in the future if they need it. So Keyser Soze knows this. And when he kills his own family in front of all these people and lets the last Hungarian guy go, he let him go, obviously, so he can tell the tale, the story, that you have no leverage over me whatsoever through them means. That's why his second power is anonymity. His second power is invisibility, because if he wanted to start another family again, they could not even know who he is. They knew who he was back in Turkey in the day, right? He's going to protect that above all else. So the fact that most people think that Verbal Kint is Keyser Soze is a joke, because anonymity is one of his superpowers, and he protects that at all costs. So the end of the movie, where the whole film is set up with the ship and the guy, the Argentinian guy on the ship that he executes, which is probably more than likely true, right? But Keyser Soze is Kobayashi. Now, if you look at Kobayashi in the film, played brilliantly by Pete Postlethwaite, who is no longer with us anymore. He passed on a good few years ago. Super actor. He hasn't got the demeanor for a start. He has not got the demeanor of someone who is just a lawyer. Okay, he's well spoken, he's intelligent, he's well trained, educated, but he has not got the demeanor of someone who is just a lawyer. You look at some of the parts in the film. When the two bodyguards get killed in the elevator by Stephen Baldwin's character, he doesn't flinch, he just looks up. He doesn't have the demeanor or any fear of someone. Okay, you can be well versed and educated in politics, right, or in the area of being a lawyer, but you're still going to have great fear when you think that you're going to die. He doesn't have any of that. He has none of that. Even when he has the gun put to his head just before you think he's going to get killed by Stephen Baldwin, he doesn't flinch. And Kobayashi uses the first power that he has. No one has leverage over him, so he knows that other people could be leveraged with the people that they care about. For example, Edie Finneran in the movie. He looks over at her and he threatens that she's going to be killed if they don't carry out the mission. All right, so he's using the flip-flop. He knows the secret. He's developed these powers, and he uses it over other people. So would Kaiser Soze, who is Kobayashi in my view, would he put himself in such close proximity to danger in the open like that? No. The story, the flashback from the start, the clip from the start explains that. He's not going to let himself even be known anymore. Remember that line in the movie when he says, "The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he didn't exist." I think he done it this way. The greatest trick Kaiser Soze ever pulled was convincing the world that Verbal Kint and the police that he was Kaiser Soze, when his real power is anonymity and he's not going to give that up for nothing. If you watch the film in this way, as if Kobayashi is Kaiser Soze, then it becomes more clear. Check out my 3 films in the description: The Trap, Case of Death, and The Man Who Died. If you enjoy them, pass them on to other people. That would be greatly appreciated. And adios for now.